Hi everyone, welcome back to our series on Youth Wellness Hubs Ontario. I'm Joanna Henderson, Executive Director of Youth Wellness Hubs Ontario and Senior Scientist at the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health. Today we'll be talking about the values and frameworks and core components that comprise Youth Wellness Hubs Ontario. Values. When I talk about YWHO, I often talk about it as being a values-based approach to care. YWHO provides a platform for improving youth experiences and outcomes through measurement, quality of service, and access to services. How is YWHO improving Ontario's mental health and addiction services for youth? We focus on providing rapid access to easily identifiable mental health and substance use services. These services are evidence-based interventions that are matched to the individual's level of needs. And services are offered through a one-stop shop model of care, provided in a youth-friendly space. We focus on eliminating transitions by co-locating and integrating multiple different services in a community into the one-stop shop. We also, however, focus on reducing transitions between services, and where those transitions are absolutely essential, then we provide supported transitions, ensuring that young people have someone to walk with them as they move to seek services in other locations or from other service providers. All of the work that we've done to date in terms of the model of service delivery, evaluation components, approach to care has been co-developed with youth and families. Our commitment to continuing to co-develop with youth and families also carries us forward. We have youth and families participating at the provincial level to guide our work through our provincial network. We also have youth and families in each of our communities working together with service providers and system planners to ensure that the services that are developed as part of the YWHO initiative reflect the needs of youth and families. We have a common evaluation platform that we've established across all of our sites, including common tools that cut across not just our YWHO sites, but also align with other major initiatives, allowing us to look at the needs of our youth in comparison to the needs of other youth in Canada and in other parts of the world as well. As I mentioned, youth and family engagement is a key value of YWHO. It is integral to the YWHO integrated model of care, and it's a commitment that extends from the service delivery platform, the service delivery experience, through to our decision-making levels. From planning to implementation and program evaluation, youth and families have been and will continue to be involved in key decisions. We have many mechanisms for youth and family members to participate in the YWHO initiative. We have community events and webinars that are open to youth and families. We have local hub structures that have advisory structures or other planning tables where youth are encouraged and family members are encouraged to participate. We have ongoing outreach and consultation around various issues as they arise, where we reach out through our community of practice, through our advisory structures to youth and families, hoping that youth and families will get involved and have their voices heard. Another value that underpins the YWHO initiative is a commitment to health equity. It is, from our perspective, it's critical to engage youth with lived experience of mental health and substance use concerns, as well as youth from historically underrepresented or disadvantaged groups in all of our development of the planning, the development of the materials, our processes both at the provincial level and at the local level. While the severity of need and prevalence of these youth populations will vary from one site to another, groups needing particular consideration include Métis, Inuit, First Nations youth, LGBTQ youth, Francophone youth, youth who are new to Canada, either through immigration or refugee processes, ethnocultural or racialized youth, and youth living with disabilities. Our model emphasizes a commitment to core components. Now is a good time for you to reflect as a team, if you're watching this with other members of your team, about which of the YWHO core components are already in place and which of the core components are missing from your site. On this slide, we have listed the YWHO core components. I'm going to quickly run through them, and while I do so, it's really important for you to be thinking about your context, your group, what's already in place, what's missing from your site, and what changes would need to be made in order to get these core components in place. We have a handy checklist that can help walk you through the core components. The core components include integrated governance. By this, we mean service providers who are providing services at the hub should be part of the governance of the hub, part of the decision-making team, together with youth and family members and other highly interested parties, and that decisions about the hub are made together collaboratively as a reflection of the commitment to integration. Collaboration with partners is critical to this initiative. This is not a one organization initiative. This is an initiative that involves the partnership and collaboration of really as many partners as possible across the community who engage with young people, who bring services to young people, who can improve the quality of life for young people and contribute to achieving mental wellness of youth and transition age youth in a community. And we really encourage people to think broadly when they think about the partners that can be at the table. We have hubs who have engaged people who provide haircutting services, people who can provide lifeguarding instruction, organizations who provide a wide range of services. So think creatively as you think of who your partners can be for YWHO. YWHO is grounded on the idea of integrated location. It is intended to be a one-stop shop model of care. So that means everyone coming together to share space. By sharing space, we can contribute to integration. In and of itself, co-location is not the same as integration, but it can go a long way in supporting integration and certainly supporting cohesive experience of care for young people. Our services are focused on being evidence-based services. And what we mean by that is that we have best available evidence suggests that the service we're offering has a good likelihood of achieving the outcomes that we are intending for it to achieve. We do know, of course, that research evidence hasn't been as exhaustive as we would like in terms of reflecting the needs of young people as they are in the real world. And so there certainly can be spaces and challenges where we don't have existing evidence-based practices. And in that situation, then we really try to think of ourselves as a learning organization that contributes to new evidence being developed. We can be innovative, but as part of this model, that always comes along with evaluating. So evaluating any new practices that don't already have evidence associated with them. So we can not only offer evidence-based services, but we can also generate new evidence about innovative services. Our commitment to youth engagement and family engagement extends not just to our provincial operations, but to each hub's operations. And so that's a critical component for you to be thinking about for your own location, as well as focusing on the extent to which your site has youth-centered and developmentally appropriate services in place. Are your staff trained to work with youth effectively? Do they like working with youth? Do you have services that are available in the evenings and on the weekends? Do you appreciate that young people will move in and out of service as their lives unfold, and that this is developmentally appropriate? This is not necessarily a reflection of a willingness to participate in service, but often reflects a natural course of unfolding in development. Another core component that helps young people to both stay connected to service and also understand where they're at with their services is the use of standardized measures and outcome evaluation. By engaging in measurement-based care, young people can understand their progress over time. Service providers can develop, together with young people, better service plans, and we as a system can have a better understanding of what's working for whom and how our system overall is functioning. We know that that equity is a value, and we've already talked about that, but equitable and inclusive access and physical spaces is really critical for the YWHO initiative. So we're thinking not just in terms of sort of who's coming through the door, but how we have created that front door. Does that front door, is it like literally physically accessible to young people, all young people in a community? Does it engage young people? Do young people in a community see themselves reflected in the spaces that we're creating? When they enter a hub, do they have to be able to know the language prior to entering the hub, or could they walk in and see visual signs of what needs to happen next and who to connect to? So really thinking in terms of how your particular hub is expressing our commitment to inclusivity and equity. It's really important as well that from a data perspective, we use data to ensure that equity is being addressed and being represented throughout all of our work. By consistent use of data, we can understand who's presenting for service, the kinds of services we're offering, the outcomes associated with services, and how that reflects the populations of young people living in our community. It also helps us to understand where we might not even have a particular subpopulation from our community coming through the door, or they may be coming through the door, but the kinds of services we're offering are not achieving the same outcomes as they are for other subpopulations of young people. So really thinking about how do we use the data that is part of our measurement-based care system, not only to meet the needs of individual young people, but in fact also think at this broader level. And very importantly, our YWHO initiative includes a commitment to offering specific mental health and substance use services that reflect the clinical needs of young people. Also ensuring that culturally specific services are available to young people, so that when young people come through the door, if they have particular cultural contexts or cultural identities that can be reflected in the services, they should be. And really all of the service providers across Youth Wellness Hubs Ontario should feel comfortable in talking with young people about the role of culture and spirituality in their understanding of their lives and their mental health concerns, so that we can really understand the needs of young people and help secure the kinds of services either within the hub or outside of the hub that will be in the best position possible to help young people achieve their goals. I introduced you to this checklist before. I'm just showing it again so that you can see the core components checklist. I would really encourage you to connect with your hub management team and your implementation supports to walk through this core component checklist to really think about what you have in place for your hub and what still needs to be developed. These are two of our mechanisms for connecting, our website and our email address. After the thank you slide, we have our list of references in case you need more information. If this information isn't sufficient, please feel free to reach out to us and we can provide more information. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining us today, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon.